Now we'll see question number 18. Question number 18 says 8 liters are drawn from a wine and is then filled with water. This operation is performed 3 more times. The ratio of the quantity of water now left in the cask is to that of the wine is 81:16. How much wine did the cask hold originally? Now this question is very interesting. Now what to do in this particular question, we only know 8 liters are drawn. Now if you remember the formula that I discussed earlier, the formula was like this. We had x times 1 minus y upon x raised to power n. Now if you look at this formula, you tell me what values do you know? Do we know x? No, we didn't know x. We didn't know the quantity of wine in the cask. Okay, we didn't know x. Do we know y? Yes, we know why. 8 liters are drawn from a wine, okay, and is then filled with water, okay, because 8 liters of liquid is taken out of the wine mixture, of the pure wine, but we didn't know the quantity of pure wine. We didn't know x, but we know 8 liters is taken out of the wine and is then filled with water, is then replaced with water. That particular amount is called as y. We know y, so y is equal to 8. So we'll write y is equal to 8. Do we know n? Now let's see. Read the question again. Do we know n? This operation is performed 3 more times. That means this operation was performed earlier also 1 time. That means total number of repetitions are 4. So n will be 4. Alright, so n will be 4. So we know y, we know n. So what we can write here for this particular formula, we can write 1 minus 8 upon x raised to power n, that is 4. Okay, let's hold on there for a second. Now look more. The ratio of the quantity of water now left in the cask to that of the wine. Now ratio of water to wine is given to be 81:16. Now do not get confused here, because this formula is for calculation of amount of pure wine and water in the cask, okay, because this formula will give you the amount of wine to water, or ratio of wine to water. But here in the question we got the ratio of water to wine, so we need to convert this ratio 81:16, that is water to wine, into wine to water. Alright, so according to the question we will change the ratio. So water is to wine is given to be 81/16, right? That is 81:16. Therefore wine to water will be 16:81. Okay, so do not get confused. You should read question carefully. Examiner can play with the terms and you would be just befooled. So do not do that during examinations. Always read question carefully. So that means we can equate the formula with the equation, with the ratio that we just wrote. So x times 1 minus 8 upon x raised to power 4 is equal to 16/81, right? Or we can write 16/81 as 2/3 raised to power 4. Alright, so raised to power 4 will be cancelled up, and we'll be it will be like this. So the quantity of water, wine to water, this particular formula was for pure wine, right? And what about water? Water is x, so x will be divided here, and x will be cancelled up. Okay, so this formula gives us the amount of pure wine and divided by water, so it will be divided by x. So ultimately we'll get it as 1 minus 8 upon x is equal to 2/3. This is what we'll get. If you solve it further, you will get the value of x as 24. Okay, so the key points for this question here: 8 liters are drawn from a wine and is then filled with water. So this formula should be striked. as soon as you read this line, is then filled with water or is replaced with water, then you should apply this formula quickly. Fill in the values that you already know, as y is equal to 8, we know this, n is equal to 4, we know this. So this formula gives us the amount of pure water present in the cask. But here examiner has given us the ratio of water to wine in the cask, that is 81 to 16. So we just played with the ratio. We changed it to wine to water because it would be easier to compare with the formula that we got. So we'll use it, and x is divided by this formula because it has to, this ratio is for wine to water, and how much water was added up? It was x amounts, right? X amount of water was added up, so x times 1 minus 8 upon x raised to power and divided by x should be there. So x and x will cancel up, and raised to power 4 and raised to power 4 will cancel up, so we'll be left with 1 minus 8 upon x is equal to upon 3, and we'll get value of x as 24. You should do all the questions yourself, otherwise you won't get confidence and you will do mistake in examination. Now we'll move to the last question of this topic, that is 19th question. It says a can contains a mixture of two liquids A and B in the ratio 7:5. When n liters of mixtures are drawn off and the can is filled with B, the ratio of A and B becomes 7:9. Okay, so how many liters of liquid A was contained by the can initially? Now let the liquid A and B in the can be 7x and 5x. Okay, so 9 liters are drawn off. Whenever it is ratio and drawn off, we have to use the previous method. We have already done one question of this kind. You will come to know when we will be solving it. Now 9 liters are drawn off. A can contains a mixture of two liquids. Okay, there is a container. It contains two mixture. It contains a mixture of two liquids A and B, which is in ratio 7:5. Okay, now we have to find out quantity A that's left in the container and quantity B that's left in the container. Quantity A is in 7 parts and quantity B is in 5 parts. Alright, so now what we'll do, so what we'll write here is, now when 9 liters are taken off and the ratio is given to us, that is equal to 7:5. Okay, this 7:5, and this is the ratio for two liquids A and B. Okay, this is for two liquids A and B. Alright, now we have to find the quantity A left in the container when 9 liters is taken off. It will be equal to quantity A. Quantity A is 7 parts, so it will be 7x minus, okay, we assume that the liquid A and B in the container will be 7x and 5x because we do not know the quantity of liquid present. So since the ratio is given, so we can always multiply it by a constant term x for both parts. Okay, so it will be 7x minus 7/12 times what? 9. Okay, because 9 times 9 liters are taken off, so 9 liters of 7 of 12 parts will be 7/12 into 9, so it will be equal to, so if we find out, it will be equal to 28x minus 21/4. Okay, similarly quantity B left in the container will be equal to 5x minus 5/12 times 9, then again plus 9 because this liquid was put back in container B. The can is filled with B. 9 liters of mixture are drawn off and the can is filled with liquid B. So after that ratio became 7:9. Okay, so we did it one time. Alright, so the ratio will be 20x plus 21/4. Alright, so we got two different equations. Now in the question it is given that new ratio became 7:9. So what does it mean? That means 28x minus 21/4 upon, okay, we'll write it in bracket. There should be one more bracket here. otherwise you will get confused. So this upon this, 20x plus 21 upon 4 will be equal to 7 upon 9, that is given in the question. Read the question. And the new ratio of a and b become 7:9, so we will equate it to 7 upon 9. So if you solve it, you will get equation like this: 28x minus 21 upon 20x plus 21 is equal to 7 upon 9. So it will be 112x is equal to 33x, so x will be equal to 3. Alright, so container contains a is equal to 7x, right? So it will be 7 times 3, that is equal to 21 liters, and b contains 5x, that is equal to 5 times 3, that is 15 liters. Alright, so that's the whole solution. So a can contains a mixture of two liquids A and B in the ratio 7:5 when 9 liters of mixture is drawn off and the can is filled up with B. So we try to find out quantity A left in the container and quantity B left in the container. So quantity A will be 7x minus 7 upon 12 times 9, that will be equal to this, and quantity B will be 5x minus 5 upon 12 into 9 plus 9. So we'll equate the equations with the ratio that is given, the final ratio, that is 7 upon 9. So we'll find out the container contents later by using 7x and 5x, which we assumed at the start of the question. So x is 3, so A will be 21 liters and liquid B will be 15 liters. So this is the end of the chapter allegation and mixture. If you have any doubt, you can always post on YouTube and we'll get back to you shortly. So take care, have a great day, and keep studying and rock your exams. Thank you. This is Gaurav Alia from Karsak Education. Bye bye.